after whispers of only defensive weapons being sent to Ukraine as part of a new promise to arm the country in order to continue the war between Russia and Ukraine, Trump has today made a stunning announcement. Per Reuters, Trump arms Ukraine and threatens sanctions on countries that buy Russian oil. It says President Donald Trump announced new weapons for Ukraine on Monday and threatened to hit buyers of Russian exports with sanctions unless Russia agrees to a peace deal in 50 days. A major shift in policy brought on by frustration with Moscow. Sitting side by side with NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte in the Oval Office, Trump told reporters that he was disappointed in the Russian president. Billions of dollars in weapons would be distributed to Ukraine, he said. Quote, "We're going to make top-of-the-line weapons and they'll be sent to NATO," Trump said, adding that Washington's NATO allies would pay for the weapons. This comes just one day after Senator Lindsey Graham promised that in the coming days we would see more weapons flowing to Ukraine. Take a listen.
But the game regarding Putin's invasion of Russia is about to change. I expect in the coming days you will see weapons flowing at a record level to help Ukraine defend themselves. I expect in the coming days that there will be tariffs and sanctions available to President Trump he's never had before. I expect in the coming days more support from Europe regarding their efforts to help Ukraine. Putin made a miscalculation here. For 6 months, President Trump tried to entice Putin to the table. The attacks have gone up, not down. One of the biggest miscalculations Putin has made is to play Trump. And you just watch. In the coming days and weeks, there's going to be a massive effort to get Putin to the table. And to those who are helping him, China buying cheap Russian oil and having no accountability, those days are about over.
Well, Trump was asked about what sort of weapons will be sent to Ukraine via NATO. Here's what he said.
Will these be Patriot missiles specifically, or Patriot batteries that you're planning? And
everything.
when do you
everything. It's Patriots. It's all of them. It's a full complement with the batteries.
And when do you expect them to arrive in Ukraine, sir?
Well, we're going to have some come very soon, within days, actually. Because a couple of the countries that have Patriots are going to swap over and will replace the Patriots with the ones they have. And Matt will coordinate with NATO. But so it's going to be, they're going to start arriving very soon.
And this afternoon, Boris Pistorius, the German defense minister, is visiting Pete Hegseth, the Secretary of Defense, and we'll discuss also, I think, on this whole Patriot thing. Norway is involved, so that's on the Patriots. But this whole deal is also about missiles or ammunition, so it's broader than Patriots.
Now, we're being told this is all in an effort to pressure Russia to come to the table for negotiations and bend to the will of the West, I suppose. But over the weekend, former UK Army head General Sir Patrick Sanders said that Britain must prepare for war with Russia in the next 5 years. Britain must prepare for war with Russia within 5 years by building bunkers and investing in air defences, the former Army head has warned. General Sir Patrick Sanders, who stood down as Chief of the General Staff last summer, said the UK needed to accept that war with Putin by 2030 was a realistic possibility. In his most stark comments yet on the threat Britain faces from Moscow, Sir Patrick said he did not know how many more signals the British government needed for it to realise that it must act to increase the nation's resilience. If Russia stops fighting in Ukraine, you get to a position where within a matter of months, they will have the capability to conduct a limited attack on a NATO member that we will be responsible for supporting, and that happens by 2030, General Sir Patrick said in an interview with The Telegraph. So pay attention to what he's saying there. Even if we manage to stop Russia's efforts in Ukraine, we're still going to war with Russia. That's what the UK, a NATO member, is saying. And what actually gives him or the UK an indication that Russia is wanting to start a war with a NATO nation? No evidence of that was given by the general in this article, but he did say something very interesting. He added that as the Cold War ended, the West was lured into a false sense of security and that the, quote, peace dividend has made Britain vulnerable. We now need to wake up and realize that that world has gone, he said. The world has become as dangerous, if not more dangerous, than it was in the Cold War. And so I always worry about the layers of security we have, but I worry more about our resilience, our ability to recover from things, from strikes, to protect our civilian population, to make sure the civilian population understands that these things are no longer things that happen elsewhere. They could happen in the UK. We've been reporting to you honestly, without the war propaganda attached, that World War is far from over. We've told you about multiple nations floating, bringing back drafts. We've told you about multiple nations arming up to the teeth, increasing their military budgets by astronomical numbers. And we've also told you that this is not going to end well. Just this weekend, Reuters reported that the US is now demanding clarity from allies, those allies being Japan and Australia, on their role in potential war over Taiwan, meaning war with China. And media conditioning for a war with China has been long in the works. We're constantly told the issue is the Middle East. It's Iraq, it's Afghanistan, it's Iran. Oh wait, no, it's not the Middle East. The biggest threat is actually Russia. Oh wait, it's not Russia, it's actually China. It appears war is on the cards. It just depends on who you're listening to as to which country that war needs to be with first. If you ask Lindsey Graham, it doesn't matter who there's a war with. As long as we're at war, he'll be happy. It seems like no one is talking about peace anymore. No new wars, no old wars, no war, period.